Salams and welcome. We're looking at today Surah Rah'maan, just a few verses from verses 5 to 9. This is another series of Quran. Wow, the words of wisdom of the Quran. The Quran is a glorious book. It is Quran al-Mubin, a clear book. And with the Quran, we are filling our brain with useful knowledge, with the best knowledge and wisdom on the face of the earth. And thereby we can beautify our brain with the best knowledge on the face of the earth, right? So yesterday we looked at the first 4 verses of Surah Rahman, and let's just go through it very briefly. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The Most Merciful God has taught this Quran. He it is who created man and taught him speech. Those are verses 1 to 4. And today we're looking at verses 5 to 9, which says, the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon adhere to a schedule or a schedule. Depends how you pronounce it, schedule or schedule. The sun and the moon adhere to a schedule, and the stars and the trees all bow down in worship. He raised the heaven high and set the balance. Therefore, do not upset the balance. Weigh with equity and do not give short weight. Once again, I apologize for the wind that's going because for my breathing difficulty, I need to keep the wind blowing into my face. Right. So let's get going with this. What does it mean? The sun and the moon adhere to a schedule. That means there is a precise schedule. Have you seen? And the fact that the alternation of the night and the day, in that is a sign of, when you see night and day, we say Tawheed, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Why do we say that? We say that because we are verifying and certifying that there is only one God, one creator. If there were 2 creators or 3 creators or 4 creators, they would have been fighting in the universe. But we see harmony in the universe. There's no chaos. Have you seen a day that was 20 hours? Or have you seen a day that was 10 hours? No, there's consistency of 24 hours. I'm not talking about 1,000,000 years or 10 million years ago, 100 million years ago, or 1 billion years ago when the earth was 23 hours, right? It's slowing down. It's, it's a spinning wheel. It's slowing down. You get 23 hours and maybe 25 hours, right? But for us, as far as you are concerned, over 100-year lifespan, it is 24 hours. That is a spinning of the night and day. The moon is telling us the way the moon is going around the earth, we can make a lunar calendar. And the way the sun is spinning and going around the sun, we can make a solar calendar. It is precision. There's someone behind all of that. It's not just a random event. It does not just happen haphazardly. And then the stars and the trees all bow down in worship. And we see on the internet the trees, sometimes you'll see a tree bent like this, and we get all excited. Oh, look, the tree is bowing down. But it's not only one tree. That tells us, okay, physically, but that does not mean it is bowing down as in Salah. The star and the trees and everything is worshipping the Creator in the ways that we cannot understand. Every tree, every blade of grass, every planet, every star, every entity is worshipping and praising the Creator Supreme in ways that we cannot understand, right? And the Creator, the Most Merciful, has raised the heaven high and set the balance. And this word balance is very, very important. There is balance and harmony in the universe. There isn't chaos. There is a system in the universe. And if anyone upsets the balance, then there is chaos. So therefore, do not upset the balance. Don't upset the balance. Weigh with equity and do not give short. Do not give short weight. If a staff member is working for you, he's supposed to get 1,000 rand, don't give him 950 rand. That person will get very upset. I mean, if you shortchange a person, if you're supposed to give a person 10,000 a month and we give the person 9,000 a month, that person will say, where's my 1,000 rand? I worked hard and I need my extra 1,000 rand. Let's say you go to a shop and you give 100 rand or you give $100 and you're supposed to get 10 rand change or $10 change, and the person only gives you $5 change. So for that 5 rand, you'll be upset. You say, where's my 5 rand? Where's my $5? I want my change. It's a different thing if I give it to you as a gift to say, don't worry about the change. Change is yours. But if you don't give me the change, I'll feel upset. I'll say, why are you shortchanging me? It can be a small amount, but I'll feel, this is injustice, right? So we don't want injustice, right? So let's just revise what we did yesterday very, very briefly. We said that the Creator, the Most Merciful, has created the heavens and the earth. He has created all the creatures, and He has created mankind. And He has given us the 3 powerful concepts of Tawheed, Risala, and Akhirah. right? That means Tawheed, that there is only one creator, there's only one most merciful creator, the supreme creator of the heavens and the earth. There aren't two gods, there aren't three gods, there aren't four gods, there's only one God. Get that concept very clear in your mind. There's only one God, right? And because we failed the test, very simple test, God in His mercy said there's trillions of trees in heaven. Don't go near that tree. Now, the tree doesn't just simply mean like an oak tree or a flower tree. A tree means like it's a palace, or it's like a shopping mall, or it could be a city. So God said there's trillions of cities here. Go to any of these cities you want to. Don't just go to the city. So the tree is a metaphor for a palace or a city, right? So we went to all the cities in heaven, in paradise. We went to all the trees in paradise, but that one tree we failed the test. We went to the tree, and God in His mercy, He sent us to earth. He said, I gave you everything for free. You did not appreciate it. But now I'm going to give you a little bit of suffering. I'm going to give it put you through tests, trials. I'm going to test you through your health, your wealth, your family, your children, loss of life and death. You're going to lose your health, you're going to lose your wealth, you're going to lose everything. I'm going to test you there, but to see that are you going to appreciate heaven when I gave it to you? When I gave you heaven on a silver platter, you did not appreciate it. You took it for granted. So God in His mercy said, now because you took it for granted, you do not understand what is suffering. Because in heaven, there's no suffering. So because we did not suffer in heaven, we said, oh, okay, we don't know what is heaven. Because to understand what is good, we need to experience evil. To understand evil, we need to experience what is good. To appreciate our sunlight, we need to understand what is darkness. We'll only appreciate our electricity when we have load shedding. Others will take things for granted. So load shedding says, oh, okay. So when I have electricity, I must give thanks for it. So it is an attitude of gratitude. So God in His mercy sent us to earth. He said, I'm going to give you a taste of suffering, very small suffering, not a lot of suffering, and very, very short time. The heavens and earth were created 13.8 billion years. Heaven 13.8 billion years ago. Earth about 4.5 billion with a B years ago. Our life on earth is only less than 100 years. As the Ummah of Rasulullah Sallallahu, we get only from 60 to 70 years, and then we are khalas, we are gone, right? Gone, finished. Right? 60 to 70 years, and then you're gone, right? So our existence is a blip on the time scale. We don't even exist. Mathematically, we don't exist. 100 years divided by 4 billion years, we don't exist. It's basically, for all intents and purposes, it's zero. So God in His mercy said, I will send you 124,000 messengers to guide you to the right way. I will not abandon you. So God did not abandon us. And He sent the final message, the Prophet Muhammad, with the Quran. The Quran is untainted. It is the absolute guarantee. It is preserved. 10% of the Muslim community, which is 10% of 2 billion, which is 200 million. Muslims throughout the world have memorized it by heart, in the heart and brain. Even if you say 5% is 100 million, 200 to 200 million have memorized the entire Quran, cover to cover, word for word, line by line. There is no other book on the face of the earth that has been preserved in that manner. So, two categories of people in the world, believers and non-believers. And the way to get to God, you can't go directly to God. You got to go through God via the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad, and to the Creator Supreme. This is the straight path. You got to go. This is a straight path to get to the Creator Supreme. He gave us this wonderful concept of speech, right? So that is where we are yesterday as a brief recap. And in today's verses, we're seeing, and look, today I'm not in the best of health today. I don't want to complain. Astaghfirullah. I've learned one time to keep my mouth quiet. And I'm going to zip this mouth. I'm going to stop complaining. I've told myself, I'm going to stop. If I got pain, I'm going to keep quiet. If I'm feeling miserable, I'm going to keep quiet, right? So today I'm feeling miserable. Astaghfirullah. I even said it now again. I'm trying to do a drawing of the solar system. This is the best I could do. But it's better than Michelangelo. You put in the Sistine Chapel, maybe get $1 million out of it, right? This is the sun. This is the Earth. That's the moon. I didn't draw the other planets. They're Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. All the 9, right? So here's the Earth now. The moon is spinning around the Earth, right? And because of the precision, is better than a Swiss watch. Precision, we can make a lunar calendar out of it. And because the Earth is spinning like a top, it's spinning, and it's spinning, and going around the sun. Because of that, as it's spinning on its axis, it's giving us night and day. We have precision of 24 hours. And as it's going 365 days it takes to go around the sun, we give the change of the season: winter, summer, autumn, spring, or fall in some point, right? So there's precision in there, and there's balance in there. No one. This did not come about by itself, by evolution. Human beings do not jump out from a monkey or a chimpanzee. If you believe that, good luck to you, but may you be guided to become a seeker of the truth. Don't just assume that Charles Darwin said, I've studied evolution, I've got a degree in evolution, alhamdulillah. So don't just believe what Charles Darwin said, that we all came from chimpanzees. The way that speech has come, the way the speech has just come suddenly onto the time scale. There was not an evolution of speech. And the Quran says very clearly, God in His mercy created us. He created a man and He created a woman. And through that man and woman, because of the reproductive organs of a man is totally different from a woman. So how did evolution make a man and a female differently, right? And because of that, you have perpetuation of the species. All right, so let's go to today's, very briefly, let's look at these verses. So the first one, let's look at what it says. The sun and the moon adhere to a schedule. They've got a schedule. The sun and the moon adhere to a schedule. And the stars and trees all bow down in worship. Let's take it slowly, a step at a time, right? So the sun and the moon adhere to a schedule or a schedule or a schedule. That is, it is a powerful law and unalterable system that binds the great planets together. It is an unalterable system. There's gravity. Who created gravity? The Most Merciful. He created the gravity. He created the laws of physics and chemistry and subatomic particles. Man is able to calculate and measure time, days, dates, and crops and seasons only because no change takes place in the rule that has been laid down for the rising and setting of the sun and of its passing through different stages. The innumerable creatures found on the earth are staying alive only because the sun and the moon have been accurately and precisely placed at particular distances from the earth. If there's a slight deviation, if the earth goes closer to the sun, we'll be burnt to death. If the earth goes a bit further away from the sun, we'll freeze to death. So who decided on this perfection, this precision? And there's no pillars holding up the earth. Have you seen the earth just floating on its own? Have you tried? Do me a favor. Go to the shop today and buy a ball. Throw the ball in the air. What's going to happen? The ball is going to fall down. Try and spin it, keep it in the air. Let's see how long you can keep it in the air. So can you imagine how is this huge rock? The earth, planet Earth is a rock. How is it floating? Have you ever thought about it? It's floating in the air and it's spinning with precision. How is it doing that? There's a Creator Supreme, right? So otherwise, if the distance from the earth increase or decrease haphazardly, no one could possibly survive on earth. Likewise, the perfect relationship and harmony that has been established in the movements of the moon around the earth and the sun has made the moon a universal calendar. So what does it mean? The stars and the trees all bow down in worship. It means that they are obeying the Creator Supreme with precision. The word used in the original an-najm, the well-known meaning of which is a star, but in the Arabic lexicon, this word is also used for the plants and creepers which do not have a stem, for example, vegetable, watermelons, and trees. In this verse, Nujum, the stars have been mentioned along with Shams, which is sun, and Qamar, which is the moon, and Shajar, which is the trees, along with the mountains and animals, and it is said that they all bow down to the Creator. They all bow down to the Most Merciful. They have given their will willingly, involuntarily, voluntarily to the Creator Supreme, right? It is only mankind who has the free will. That is, now what does it mean they all bow down to the Creator? It means that the stars of the heavens and the trees of the earth are all subject to the Most Merciful's commands, to the Rah'maan, to the commands of Rah'maan, and are obedient to His law. They don't obey any other law. They cannot exceed the rule that has been set for them. What is meant to be impressed in these two verses is that the whole system of the universe has been created by the Most Merciful, by the Creator Supreme, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and is functioning in His obedience. Nothing from the earth to the heavens is independent, nor functioning under another's Godhead. There's no other deity, there's no other entity that is ruling the universe. All are the servants and slaves of the Most Merciful. All are servants of Ar-Rah'maan. The Master is one Almighty Lord alone. Hence, this is Tawheed. Tawheed means that there is only one Creator, and that is the law. That is the rule of the universe. If there were two gods, if there were three gods, then there would be war. There would be chaos in the entire universe. But we don't see chaos. We see harmony. So what does it mean? He raised the heaven high, right? So now we come to the next part of it. What does it mean? He raised the heaven high and set the balance. What does that mean? Almost all the commentators have interpreted mizan, which is the balance, to mean justice. The whole entire Islam, the ethos of Islam is based on justice. If there's no justice, if there's no social justice, if there's no economic justice, if there's no political justice, if there's no justice for one against another, then there's imbalance in society, there is chaos. So the whole theme of Islam means we must hold up the banner of justice. And the entire universe is based on justice. This implies that the most merciful God, in His mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has established the entire system of the universe. It is based on justice. Had there been no harmony and balance and justice established among the countless stars and planets moving in space, then life on earth would not have functioned even for a split second, right? Look at the creatures existing in the air and water and on land for millions and millions of years. They continue to exist only because of justice. Consider global warming. Global warming is an imbalance because of the greed of human beings. Greed, we are destroying the forest, we are destroying everything, and we are causing global warming because of fossil fuels. When mankind did not come on earth, there was balance in nature. The lion ate the wildebeest, but there was balance. The wildebeest didn't go extinct, the springbok didn't go extinct. There was harmony in nature. But when mankind came, he started getting power, he started getting arrogant. He wants power, he wants money, he wants wealth. So he's creating imbalance in nature. That's how we have global warming. And even the wealthy countries don't want to reduce their CO2 emissions. They don't care about the poor countries. This causes an imbalance. When you have imbalance, what happens? You have chaos. You have people in the street marching, say CO2. How does this COP29, how does it help all these seminars and workshops if we don't understand that we are accountable to a Creator Supreme, and our job and our duty is to establish justice for everyone, justice for mankind, irrespective of your race or religion, justice for animals, justice for the environment. That is our duty on earth. So therefore it says very clearly, the Quran says, therefore do not upset the balance. Don't upset it. If you're going to upset the balance, there's going to be chaos. Weigh with equity and do not give short measure. And this also happens in families where families are broken up. There's chaos in families when there's injustice, when one partner takes more than another partner, or when there's laws of inheritance, when one family member cheats another family member. What happens? The whole foundation of the family shakes and families are split. Why? Because of money. If you shortchange anybody, that family is broken. It causes chaos. It causes chaos. So the Quran is saying clearly, don't be unjust. Give everyone this. In Muhammad, they say hisab kitab. Every cent, every penny, make an account for it and say, this, I owe you 100 rand, here's 100 rand. I'm not going to give you 99 rand. Unless you tell me willingly, okay, give me 99 rand, I'm happy with it. But 100 rand means 100 rand. Khalas. If you don't do that, there's going to be injustice. So therefore, do not upset the balance. Weigh with equity and do not give short weight. If there's only one lesson you learn from today, don't ever shortchange anybody, please. And especially when it comes to food, if you go to a restaurant to buy, pay them immediately. Even if you got a monthly contract with someone, say you got a caterer, end of the month come, please make sure you've paid that person. Why is it you want to eat food? The next morning you go to the toilet, you've thrown all the food out into the sewage, yet you haven't paid the person the money for that food, and yet the food is in your stomach. How can it be halal if you haven't paid money for that food? How can it be acceptable in the eyes of the Creator if you haven't paid for that food? So please make sure you don't shortchange anybody. Don't try and cheat people. You generate short-term gains, but in the long term, we need to think what we are doing. As you are living in a balanced universe whose entire system has been established on justice, the entire universe is based on justice, and Islam is based on justice. You also should adhere to justice in your personal life. For if you act unjustly within the sphere in which you have been given authority, especially if you are a leader, if you got your business, make sure you're just in your business. If you're a leader of the house, make sure there's justice in your house. If you're a president, make sure there's justice in the country. If you're a world leader, make sure there's justice in the world. In anything that you're doing, make sure there's absolute justice in everything. If you don't do that, if you don't give the people, if you fail to render the rights of other people, you would indeed be rebelling against the nature of the universe, and then there will be chaos. For the nature of this universe does not admit of injustice and perversion and the violation of rights. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.